Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Rufino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Chris Massaro with us today, Troy Macker with us today, Bruce Marshall with us today. We ought to have Colucci here today. We owe him, what, lunch, dinner, breakfast, a day at the spa, coyote wrangling, another 3-0. Colucci's been hot, man. 3-0 on the ice last night, and our triple play on the basketball with Paul Stone and Matt Humans and you on the Irvine game last night, which went to overtime, but Irvine, the Anteaters ran away in overtime.
It was a triple play, man.
Yeah.
For me, Paul Stone on the podcast. Max, you got to get that podcast information because, come here real quick, Max, just put it out because we're kind of heating up a little bit and kind of spinning our wheels, sputtering, whatever you want to call it. But Paul was fire last week. We've been on fire this week. Otterlocks 15-3 week. But Max, tell them where to find it because we got a whole, I don't know, about 8 picks tomorrow for college basketball.
Yeah, 8 overall picks in 6 games. College Sports Rush. You can find it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. College Sports Rush. It'll be the Sports Bettor's Paradise show. Comes out every Tuesday and Thursday on that channel. So subscribe to College Sports Rush YouTube channel or the podcast feeds.
Yeah, it's good. We're starting to heat up, man. It's good. Colucci swept. I mean, he sweeps. I mean, of course we get the overtime shootout win. Of course we go to overtime and win by 11 with the Anteaters or the triple play. You know, I mean, of course, the summa cum laude guard for Georgia takes a layup down 3. With 0.6 to go to cover the 1.5.
That's your most fortuitous one of the week. But, hey, look, you take them any way you can get them. And Hawaii, you might have got 1.5, you might have got 2.5, you might have got 3.5, depending on what time you bet it yesterday. But Hawaii, there was a 10-foot shot for Irvine to win it in regulation, which would have sunk a lot of tickets, but they missed. They go to overtime, and they run away, really, from Hawaii. So it was good. It set up something, Jimmy, that I didn't expect because I'm kind of watching the game. It's late, okay? It's kind of my wife's out of town, so I can keep the TV on later than normal without disturbing her. And so I just segued from that kind of half fishing, watching the overtime, into the tennis. I like tennis. I'm a casual tennis fan, nowhere near the level of you are. You play and all that stuff. But I watch good tennis, and and good tennis is really compelling when it's the stakes are high and the players are high level. And so I started watching a little bit of Alcaraz, the number 1 seed there. He's going for the career Grand Slam in the semis in Australia. This is live, but it's at what they started 11, 45, 12, whatever it was. And so I'm kind of in and out. You know, TV's on, get up, watch a couple of games, go back to sleep. Get up, watch a couple of games, go back to sleep. End up watching a decent amount of all 5 sets of Alcaraz and all 5 sets of Djokovic in center. In the second semifinal, and this is like 10 hours of tennis. I'm not telling you I watched 9.5. Okay, yep. I'm not telling you I watched all 9.5. I'm not even telling you I watched half of 9.5. Probably in the first match, I probably watched 6 games out of 5 sets, and in the second one, until I got into the third set, probably another couple of games. But I watched a good bit of this, and this was great
wins, man.
Tennis.
Tennis wins.
Great tennis.
Tennis is really, really a big winner in this whole thing. And it started out because this is not your, it's 82 degrees in the U.S. Open, and these soft tennis players are, complaining about the weather, and the heat. The heat was a legitimate factor and a storyline to this tournament in Australia. Triple digits. Djokovic, the big two is pulling away. He can't compete with him. He can beat everybody else, and then he can't even beat Musetti. Musetti is killing him before he cramps up. The 9th time that he retires in his career. So Musetti, he did it in Monte Carlo in a 3-setter, in the 3rd set against Alcaraz in the final in Monte Carlo. But Djokovic in the 16, he gets a walkover because his opponent carried over some cramps and some fatigue from the heat, so he gets a walkover. He doesn't have to hit one ball to go to the final 8. In the quarterfinals, he's down 2-0 to Musetti, and Musetti he doesn't fight through it like Alcaraz did, this morning, and so Djokovic goes from 16 to the semis without winning a set. But in a kind of a teaching moment. When you lose, when your team loses, maybe your coach has a teaching moment, you get the ear. He kind of taught himself because he knew he could not play at that level to have a chance. James Blake is excellent. He is excellent. Ivy League guy, former player, U.S. guy. And he said that he knows he's got to go for it on second serve. Sinner will kill his second serve. And so he's going to have 7 or 8 double faults. He only had 3. He said he's still, he's got to hit out. Deep into the 5th set, he's still hitting his forehand 80-plus miles per hour. That's a lot. He had to play at such a high level, and then it's a battle of, the conditions as well. So I thought Chris Fowler was excellent as well. And after dropping the first set, Sinner wins the first set. Jannik Sinner was 100-1 to win the match. Djokovic was 50-1. You could get him after the first set. And so he wins the second set. They even it up. Sinner's up 2-1. He evens it up. Going into the 5th set, you're getting plus 700 on Djokovic to win it. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then he finally breaks him. The only 2 chances, the break points he had in the 5th set, he broke him, or in the 4th and 5th set. Charlie, Sinner had 18 break points on Djokovic. He won 2 of them, including 10 in the 5th set. He won 0 of them. Djokovic, after he breaks him up 4-3 in the 5th set, he's down love 40. And second serve, he gets a service winner. So it's just, I mean, it was such a fun, talk about threading the needle of opportunity, just the right spots and the points to win, the critical points, and wants to fight off. And I thought Fowler, I'm glad that he had some seasoning, and he was, because he's not fresh to the, announcing tennis, because I had to write it down, but he said in maybe the most decorated tennis career ever, he said in the most decorated career in tennis, perhaps the most blank win of his career. What was the word he used?
Would he have used the word shocking?
Satisfying.
Okay.
And it's also the interaction with the crowd, because the crowd wants a 5-setter. The crowd wants an epic match. Well, Djokovic over his career is always winning, so they're always pulling against him. So he's always been prickly with the crowd. This is 20 years, and they were so pulling for him. And it was so new, and it was unbelievable theater.
And the satisfying is a great word.
It was great.
Better
it was
than,
a perfect
it's better
term.
than shocking. Djokovic is the most, like you said, the most decorated guy in the sport. But he's 38 years old now.
Yes.
Sinner is 24 years old. He's won this event the last 2 times. He is right now he's number 2, but he has been number 1 in the world. And this reminded me a great deal of Jimmy Connors' run at the 1990 U.S. Open when he was 37 or 38 years old. And Connors also very prickly with the media. Never, he didn't throw the tantrums quite like McEnroe, but he was a close second.
McEnroe light.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed.
And he was 38 years old in Flushing Meadow, and he made it run all the way to the semis, and he won 2, maybe 3 matches that he shouldn't have won, or that he was heavy underdog in, and the crowd embraced him. And they got behind the American, and it was we maybe have never rooted for you before, but we're rooting for you now. And that's kind of how I felt about watching Joker this morning.
Well, the New
Even
York
if
crowd,
you've never voted for him before.
the New York crowd always pulls for the Americans.
True.
Okay. And we have seen the American players at the U.S. Open make surprising runs. Playing on their home surface, playing home court. There is a legitimate home court advantage. Now he's in Australia. And the only thing there with Joker is, and they've always pulled against him because they'll always win, and they won long matches.
He's won it 10 times.
He's won his most majors, the most of his 24, 10 of them down in Australia.
And
it went after 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Margaret Court, how old is she? She stayed for the whole time.
I looked it up. She's 83, and she stayed the entire the most decorated of the women's sport, her and Serena Williams.
And so he's so satisfied. He's so proud of his accomplishment, but he's also exhausted. Mm-hmm. How long did it take him to say a word in Jim Courier's interview post-match?
He was spent.
Yes,
he was physically and emotionally.
Yes.
He was spent. This is kind of a historic match, if you ask me. Ordinarily, we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about tennis.
It wasn't the best one in the semis.
No, Alcaraz's match was better.
It wasn't the best match.
And ordinarily, I wouldn't have the TV on, but I happened to watch this. This was compelling tennis. I know tennis is not everybody's deal, but I thought this was a little bit historic today. Alcaraz and Joker in the final. It will be hard for Djokovic to summon up that effort less than 48 hours later and do it again against now the number one player in the world. But even if he doesn't win, this was fun to watch. And like I said, I'm not a
It was
not
9.5 hours. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And Alcaraz fought off cramps. He threw up twice into his towel on the switch over.
Thank you for showing us that.
So but it's important because he's losing all of his fluids.
Right.
But he just kind of hung around, and he's down a match point. So here you go. He's going to lose. He fought it off. He's done another match point. He fought it off. A third match point. He fought it off. And then he finally gets one. He gets his one. It was those two guys went. They didn't just meet at mid. Court. They went to each. They were just. I don't know, like two boxers.
That's
boxers
exactly what I was about to say.
Kind of coming, just hugging
respect,
and spent.
Respect.
For
each other's
respect.
game. Yeah.
And how about Joker after he says, finally gets his wits about him. He says, "The crowd, I think you got the value of your ticket tonight."
Right. I want my cut. I want
my 10%.
It was pretty funny.
I had a busy tennis day yesterday, Charlie.
You went and watched high school tennis because you know some. It was a great match, but you also know some of the participants in.
Well, Chris and Diane Bourgeois. Kristen. Mm-hmm. Kristen Nelson, Kristen Stafford, Zach and Kristen's daughter playing, Jeff Wilson's daughter, Catherine playing, Will and Casey Eglin's daughter playing, and something about, man, the girls, they're cute kids. They go out there, and then they just are smacking the ball. The great thing about it wasn't one of these matches where they usually just overpower their opponent, St. Joseph's Academy. So Mount Carmel is very, very good, and St. Joseph's beat them 9-2. So Sophie Bourgeois, Catherine Wilson, Ryland Stafford, just Merrill Eglin, awesome stuff, man. So it was fun. You know what, too, Charlie? It's kind of fun after the bus. If we're kind of retired, folks are a lot more nicer to me now. They're not competing with
You're not stealing recruits anymore.
That's what everybody thought I was recruiting for. Yes,
they were nicer to Spurrier after he retired.
Yeah,
too,
but it was fun, man. It was a good day. It was a good day yesterday. And tennis. How about tennis? Tiger Droppings loves when you talk tennis, Charlie.
Look,
yes,
I realize we don't do this very often. It just happened to be one of those days.
But it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun to see just the kids competing, man. Just really grinding out there. It was fun to watch.
We can branch out every now and then.
We can talk McMahon.
I have some LSU basketball thoughts.
They had more people
later
at the St. Joseph's Mount Carmel girls tennis matches yesterday than they had at the second half of the Mississippi State game.
It was a better match.
Yes.
We got top 10 basketball tonight. Sometimes the Friday night card is late, but we got a really good one tonight between
Humans is hot too.
Michigan and Michigan State. We'll talk about that. Early Super Bowl props. We got Bruce Marshall, Troy Macker with us. So we'll get back into the swing. What's for lunch
today? It's restaurant week, and we're on the $60 tier. And tonight and tomorrow night is the last evenings of Restaurant Week. So the 3 appetizers to choose from: the oysters oregonata, the beef cheek egg rolls, the stuffed portobello mushroom. Choose from 4 different soups or salads: the stuffed eggplant soup, the corn and crab bisque, the Caesar salad or Italian salad, and then one of 3 entrees: the grouper scampi, the 8-ounce Wagyu flat iron, and the pork ossobuco. And that's our off the menu specials is the restaurant week menu as well. So in addition to our regular Friday lunch menu over here at Ruffino's.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let's go out to Las Vegas. This guy's on his 3-week birthday celebration, Chris Massaro. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's my last morning in Las Vegas. I'm driving back to San Diego. I'm just about, as we speak, actually, I'm about to pack the rest of the belongings up into the old car and get back on the road.
Okay, so a lot of times when we talk strategy, I say, as a coach, you got to get in the mind of your opponent. And what do they want you to do? What do they don't want you to do? And that could kind of crystallize your strategy. What did you want at the time? Now, be honest. What did you want Peyton to do on that 4th and 1?
Oh, I don't know if you already talked to humans about this, but we were all sitting together watching the game, and they came out of the timeout, which Peyton did remember calling. And he says to me, and a couple other guys said to me, "What do you think?" I go, "I pray that they go for it because they're not going to get it." And even if they did get it, it didn't guarantee they were going to get a touchdown anyway. So I was absolutely thrilled that they went for it. And as soon as I knew it wasn't a running play, I knew we were golden. And I'm still kind of shocked and a little bit more shocked that he didn't remember who called timeout. You called timeout, Sean Payton, and that was just a wacky sequence.
For a guy who we appreciate so much because the Saints were losers forever, and also the city of New Orleans, I mean, they rallied. We don't know what the rebuild after Katrina would have been without the Saints to kind of rally around. We really don't. And, there's such an important part. That's why Breeze and Peyton will ever be. They're just set. And he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Maybe not a first ballot Hall of Famer. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, he has done some impulsive some things like throwing flags where he's got no chance of getting a reversal, some trick plays. Well, wait a minute, you're moving the ball up and down the field. So, Charlie,
kicker cutting.
He's got no tolerance for kickers.
None.
But he's got Lutz in because Lutz is make pressure kicks for him. That's why he has him.
He cut the guy that sent him to the Super Bowl. He cut Hartley a couple years later. So yeah, at times he is very. But
we're trying to help Chris. Give a little backdrop of like were you totally shocked that he's going to run this play with his backup quarterback, and it totally changes the game, and it gives the opponent a spark. I don't want to hear about the standard analytics are very important to prepare you for a spot, but there are circumstances in this one. Chris, did you know that the weather had a chance to be that bad in the second half?
I did not. I remember looking earlier in the week and saying it was going to be 45 to 50 degrees and sunny and not too windy. But hey, if you're the coach, I'm not the coach of the team on my 50th birthday weekend in Las Vegas. I think the coach or somebody on his staff should be checking the weather, especially if you live there year round. And we've seen that change before. It's just shocking that if they did know that was coming and they didn't take the 3 points, that makes it even more egregious. I was talking to somebody yesterday who mentioned the thing, hey, Peyton's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I like the Denver Broncos next year. I'm just not so sure. I think he's pumped up this team as far as it can go. I'm not sure if Bo Nix is the answer either, and I'm not so sure. Hey, if Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame, how is Sean Payton going to the Hall of Fame?
Well, Belichick's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
What do you know? What if Belichick has a heart attack tomorrow? Then he's not going to the Hall of Fame. He will be posthumously inducted. But I don't want to hear it's the most ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Please tell me you guys aren't defending that he shouldn't be in first.
No, we're not. No, we're not. But he's got the best resume of any coach. But he's going to be. It's not like he's not going to get in. He didn't get in as 5 other coaches: Hallis, Lombardi, Shula, Landry, and Noel did. Okay, and so but he's going to get in. and Peyton's going to get in. He's going to get in. And look, you can't. He didn't do a good job with his team this year. I mean,
No, I'm not. I'm not.
What's that?
I'm not sure he's going to get in.
Really?
No. And let me give you some reason for this. You just mentioned the 5 guys who went in the first ballot. There are multiple coaches with multiple Super Bowl wins that are not in. Mike Shanahan is one. Tom Coughlin is another. It took Coors Beer doing a basically national campaign to get Tom Flores in. He's got one. There's a lot of guys with one that ain't in. So I'm not – I think he's got a chance to get in. Would I say he's a lock? I would not.
Okay.
Well, the refs did screw the Saints. You know, we all know the call in the Rams game, or it should have been Patriots Saints and ended up being Patriots Rams. But he has only, correct me if I'm wrong, he's only been to one, correct?
Correct.
That's
correct.
it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Aaron Rodgers, only been to one.
So, well, he's going to get into. But anyway, the path though. How old were you when the '85 Patriots?
I was 10. That was my 10th birthday. My birthday was the day after the destruction down in the Superdome down there.
So, how much do you remember their fortuitous path to the Super Bowl, where they went to the Jets? The Jets turned it over 4 times. And they win there.
Well, hold on a second.
Hold on. Let me give the facts first. The data. Oakland had 6 turnovers, and Miami had 6 turnovers. So it was a fortunate path. This year, banged up Chargers. Stroud was atrocious, and the starting quarterback, he went against Stidham in Denver, and Peyton remind you a little bit.
Listen, I remember it very well. I also remember they had to win the last game of the year to get that position into the wild card. They won the last game. They beat the Jets. They had a song. It was, everyone had the Super Bowl shuffle etched into their mind. The Patriots had their own song, Bury the Bears, and listen, Squish the Fish. You know what?
It's one if by land, 2 if by sea. The Patriots are going on to victory. I remember that stupid song.
This thing where the game is only played on fancy offensive quarterbacks and fancy receivers is just such a fallacy, and it drives me absolutely insane. Yes, the Patriots don't play this glorified 1999 best show on turf offense that the Rams played, who also had a weak schedule. Does their Super Bowl not count? The game is played in 3 phases. The game is played in 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And the Patriots' defense happens to be pretty good right now. And if you're an opportunistic
they're very
defense,
good. Very good.
Very good. They could stop this is my game plan for the game. Obviously, everyone could say this. It's kind of low-hanging fruit. You got Gonzalez. You have to slow down JSN. That's an obvious statement. If you can hold him to maybe 4 or 5 catches for 65 yards instead of 8 or 9 catches for 110, I think you're in the plus side. Then you got to stop the run, which they've been able to do. And then I just feel like my boy Sam Darnold, who is 1 touchdown, 11 interceptions versus the Patriots, 0-4 against the Patriots in his career, just might be seeing ghosts again. Maybe you make him panic a little bit. Maybe the moment's just a little too big for him. And I think Vrabel's the best coach in football. So
Max thinks he's overrated. But anyway,
overrated. He got guys coming up to him telling him he changed his life, and they don't ever want to play for another coach.
Max,
the guy
defend yourself.
Has the room.
Defend yourself.
Well, overrated means rated over what they should be, and he just said he's the best coach in football. I don't think he's the best coach in football. I'm not saying he's not a top 5.
Let me jog your memory.
Coach.
Let me jog your memory, young apprentice. I just don't know about if Vrabel's all what people think he is.
I agree.
This was early in the season. They're that good.
He's had a great
season. He's a heck of a coach, man. He's a good coach.
He's great at player management, at man management. That's why people look up to him so much, like Chris just mentioned. He is really good in terms of I thought he did a great job in the AFC Championship game of playing with the lead and running clock.
He's an excellent situational game manager.
Not always. Not always a great game manager.
Sometimes he can be a little on the conservative side, but he's not going to beat himself. Okay? He sure
to a fault at times. Sometimes his offense has been a little bit underwhelming considering the personnel that he's had, in my opinion.
He got the number 1 seed with Ryan Tannehill. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yes, exactly. How's Tennessee doing? How'd Tennessee do before and after him? You know, I mean,
Well, Tennessee shouldn't have let him go. That's unforgivable.
I mean, you know, so the other thing is these Patriots are not playing the 85 Bears, okay? As good as Seattle. I mean, you can make an argument that Seattle did not deserve to win. They're outgained considerably by the Rams in this game. You know, they get a gift on special teams, you know, with, I mean, just that's free 7 points, you know, with the fumble punt. And
I agree.
Drake May is way better than Tony Eason. Tony Eason didn't exactly have an MVP runner-up season that year in 1985. But, I mean, I had to jog Charlie's memory. I said, Charlie, they benefited from 16 turnovers in 3 playoff games. That's never happened, and it was one of the best teams ever.
There are guys playing defense on that other side of the ball that may be causing those turnovers. It's not just like, although they did fumble a kickoff, and Jim Bowman recovered it in the end zone. Imagine that. Number 26, I believe, Jim Bowman, number 26.
Not just a touchdown, the game-winning touchdown in the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, my boy.
I just remember Matt Millen beating up the GM after the game.
yeah,
that's my enduring memory of that game.
Patrick Sullivan got punched right in the face after the game.
But so what? I mean, and I can tell you what. Listen, man, that Kalavion Chason, him wrecking shop is no surprise to us. Hey, you know, you got that defense is legit. And look, man, he is a Belichick understudy, and Belichick is the best to ever coach. Okay. Everybody's in an uproar, and you should be. And I love the Patriots police, the fans. They are trying to find out every voter that claims they voted for him. So the process of elimination, they're trying to zero in on the ones that didn't.
Only got to get to 40.
Listen,
give me a little background on that.
I love Sal Palantonio. I've had the pleasure of having dinner with him before. And I just thought his take on it, he says he voted for Belichick, but we'll never know because you don't have to actually show your vote. But he was like, well, we should tone down the rhetoric. We shouldn't get upset about other voters who have to make a decision. We shouldn't stain the current class that's going in. It's like, yeah, that is kind of true. You know, I'm not even sure who's actually in yet. I guess Drew Brees is obviously going to be in. But you don't want to stain it for Drew Brees. But at the same time, the people in that room, the other 40 people, should have told those other 10, what on earth are you guys doing? I mean, there should have been a little bit more discussion about that. I mean, wouldn't you say, like, if
they don't know. Nobody's declaring their vote, Chris, during the discussions. That's why it's anonymously submitted. I mean, they're all discussing it, but nobody's saying, "Yeah, I'm voting. Yeah, give me a raise of hands." That's not the process.
Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure I know what happened.
I think the process needs to be changed.
I know what's happened here. This happens in baseball a lot. A guy that people think is a shoo-in to get in.
Yes.
And there's
I've heard that multiple voters.
And
yes.
I think it's flawed reasoning, but it happens.
I'm not going to waste my vote on a guy that's a shoo-in.
Yeah, because there's somebody that I really think should be in where it's going to be close. And I think, you know, what Polian said was, you know, I really wanted to vote for L.C. Greenwood. Or that guy in Kansas City said, I really wanted to vote for L.C. Greenwood. And I think L.C. Greenwood should be in the Hall of Fame. But you can't do that at the expense of not voting for a slam
And
dunk.
Chris, just like your boy, Mo Vaughn benefited because Joey Bell was such a jerk to the media. Went out of his way to be an a-hole. Belichick certainly. These guys are media guys too. At some point in time, I promise you, a chunk of them, Belichick went out of his way to be an a-hole to him.
Yeah, that is a good point. I remember that well. 1995 MVP. Mo Vaughn definitely didn't deserve it. You know, the stats by Albert Bell, Joey Bell, ex-LSU guy, off the wall, unbelievable. And the guy was the most feared hitter, and they just gave it to Mo Vaughn, who had kind of pedestrian stats. If you look at it. I'll tell you another guy that should be in the Hall of Fame that actually irks me almost as much as Belichick, and I still have no idea how he hasn't got to become a finalist. I don't know how Rodney Harrison is not in the Hall of Fame. The guy was an ultimate game wrecker, 2-time Super Bowl winning champ with the Patriots, multiple-time Pro Bowl, and the only guy besides Ray Lewis who has a certain amount of sacks and a certain amount of interceptions that no one else has in the league.
Great play. Didn't he have the 100-yard pick in Roethlisberger? Didn't he have the 100-yard pick against Roethlisberger?
It wasn't 100, but it was like 80. Yeah, it was in the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
Yeah.
AFC Championship game. You have any picks? We run up against the break. Any picks in college basketball for tomorrow?
I don't have anything for tomorrow, but I kind of like that crazy team IU Indy today over the 155.
Wait. Okay, look.
Playing Youngstown State. Youngstown State.
IU over
154 and a half.
Indy,
150.
150. Yeah. They're the team that
So the Denver
started out
over
scoring-
finally stopped. Although it went to 17-1, 18-1, whatever that was, that finally stopped.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, this
So-
was the team that was scoring like 200 points. They were getting like 200 points per game the first 3 or 4 games in the year. Then they kind of slowed it down a little bit. The odds have kind of caught up. I think this is a game where it goes way over this 154 and a half.
We will get all your picks and the props and for the Super Bowl. We'll see how many points you're taking with the New England Patriots next week. Hey, man, that defense can keep them in it. I'm convinced. So should be interesting. Enjoy safe trips, bro. Back to San Diego.
All right,
We'll
I'll talk
to
to
you
you
next
soon,
week.
Jimmy. Talk to you later, Charlie. Bye.
All right, Chris Massero checking in. So we couldn't go down to the Belichick stuff too much.
Well, it's indefensible.
I know.
We know why it's happened.
I
We just
know.
don't agree with why
Right,
it's happened.
yes. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company, servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. 3 best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
All right, Troy, I hope you give me something better than that Patty Pemby or whatever you put me on last week. So it killed my parlay. So I was looking up to just, see, okay, it was the last leg. I mean, how much did I win? And wait a minute. This was a given. Troy told me this was.
Troy, does he ever thank you when you give him winners?
It was bad. It was very bad. And it's due in large part to Justin Gaethje. I mean, he's a warthog. Like, he's just like a tiger, a honey badger. The guy comes at full force. And I should have looked more into that in the fact that I thought, with every time you fight, and you only fight 3 times a year, so, every fight shaves off years of your career. And Gaethje had been just in wars. I figured that the youth was going to prevail. But, whether it was an early eye poke that, set Pimblett back, he battered him. There was no stopping. I figured at some point, Pimblett would realize he was in deep water and really go for a submission. And, I was on submission 2nd round and 3rd round, and he never did. And I think the 2 things we learned is, I always knew Patty Pimblett had an exceptional chin, but he gets hit too much because he doesn't have great defensive technical striking. And B, he was just more than willing to engage, and that's what he wants to do. He says he's a scouser, he likes to fight, and he's not going to get knocked out. But sometimes it's like, dude, you can win. You can put together a tactical game plan to win the fight via submission where you have a sizable advantage, and he didn't do that. He'd rather entertain, which I'm not against, even though all my bets lost, because that was a hell of a fight. But it's so disappointing because there was a path to victory, and he didn't take it.
But Max, Gaethje, whatever his name is, Gochi, when he's supposed to be done? Past his prime?
He was past his prime, but he's won now 4 fights in a row as an underdog, so he's been really good in the
wait
spot.
a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's just a warrior.
Why are we not on this train?
Sounds primish to me, or primish results anyway.
Oh, now we get this. We get this now.
On something I know absolutely nothing about.
I know 4 dogs in a row you won as. I mean, outright. I mean, I'm in. I mean,
this is Max's corner of the store. I'll take his word for it.
So while we're on this, we got another one tomorrow night. Another pretty good card.
Oh yeah, less knowledgeable about this one, just because Alexander Volkanovski is the champion. He's fighting against Diego Lopez. Beat him by decision last time out. He's fighting in his home country of Australia. Volk is an amazing fighter. You could make the case 2 years ago that he was pound for pound best fighter on the planet. He's moved up in weight class and lost two fights to who's the guy who's now probably pound for pound top one. He got head kick knocked out. And a lot of times when a champ loses, the air of mystique goes away. Is Volk on the backside of his career, potentially, but he's still exceptionally good wrestler. Volume striker. He's beaten Lopez before. Lopez is certainly younger. Volkanovski is a slight favorite. I think the fight probably goes the distance here. I'm probably going to do some parlays. Tai Tuivasa fights. He's a big New Zealand heavyweight. And that fight, I'll gladly take the under 1.5 rounds. You're going to have to parlay that because that's at like minus 295. The co-main, Dan Hooker, is another really interesting one versus Benoit Saint Denis because Hooker is a technical kickboxer, but he's the type of guy, if he gets bloodied, he actually gets better and more hungry and is more violent. But Saint Denis has exceptional strength. Maybe not the world's best gas tank, but he is very strong. His hands are very, very strong. That's one I probably like the under as well. I think in the co-main, it might be 5 rounds. If it's 3 rounds, I'd still probably take the under 2.5 rounds because I think someone's going to get a finish. But I'm not as confident as the last UFC card, but that might be in my favor because I was very confident and basically all of my bets lost.
You've filled us in that kind of like these during 9 to 5 and people at their jobs, they want a little diversion maybe for their jobs. And you see sort of these tennis matches or these midday soccer matches that kind of get this little spike in handle. So what do we do with the overnight 9.5 hours of semifinals at the Australian Open? Because that was dancing around. I was so fired up when he broke serve at 3-all in the 5th set, Djokovic, and now he's serving. He needs 2 service holds to win it. I bounced out of bed, went to the media room, went and worked out. I put on Nigel Sealing on Betting Weekly, our international content manager for the Bet River sponsor, Betting Weekly, and he said that after Djokovic lost the first set, Sinner was 100-1. You could get Djokovic 50-1. I know, Troy, it's fast, it's the middle of the night, but did you have any unusual activity, betting handle on this historical semifinal, the back-to-back semifinals, which it took 9.5 hours to complete?
Yeah, so, some of our data from that match is still loading, and we take a lot of live betting, a lot of big numbers live betting. So we did certainly take some decent-sized prices, like $5,000, $10,000 pre-match, mostly on Sinner pre-match. But I didn't set my range anything under than $10 bets. And the longest odds we took on Djokovic money line was, I believe, 19-1. Someone put $100 on Djokovic live, 19-1. We've seen some huge bets on the Australian Open. We're talking $200,000 wagers in round of 16 in quarterfinal. Yeah, usually very short prices. But the Zverev Alcaraz match, we took a ton of bets, upwards of $30,000 to $50,000 a piece, and not necessarily super short. So while it is middle of the night, we have people betting throughout the night. And I think what really helps in this case, the Australian Open being the first major, sometimes you don't get the 4 bets in the semifinals. This time we do. Both men's and women's. And even if it's the 4 best, it's 4 of the 8 best. So this is like a really, really good Final Four. A lot of times you have someone who's a long shot who makes it because they played in lower events, and this is the first big event for a lot of the stars. But this time around, we're getting the superstars, and that really helps betting.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, it's no surprise that, 1 and 2, but this Djokovic thing, it was just we want to digest it, but it's got a chance. And to my memory, and I've been following tennis in the Open era, with the 4 majors, and I can't remember a semifinal day like this. This is when a guy that's got 24 majors, who's 4 years past his prime, against 2. This Alcaraz Sinner rivalry, it's got 5, maybe 6 more years of just high level stuff. These guys, he couldn't compete. I forget, it was Alcaraz or Sinner in Wimbledon. It was straight. It has been nothing but ugly, and he's coming off of his ugliest match when he's always beaten the rest of the group, but Musetti was wiping the court with him. So it's so many storylines, man, where the Alcaraz is throwing up, he's dehydrated, the heat is a factor. It was but I got to give Max credit on that one. He did say, well, Djokovic is lightly raced. He advanced from the 16 to the semis without winning a set. So, There you go. And he could not have if he had to play 4 sets apiece in a round of 16 and quarterfinals.
And I'll just say this is, Alcaraz, he if he wins the Aussie Open, he'll complete the career slam. Djokovic has won 9 Aussie Opens. That's, I believe, the most of any of his
10.
majors. The 10? 10. And I believe when he makes the final, he wins. And so his IQ, his tennis IQ is just off the charts. Probably the highest IQ we've ever seen. The heat has played a major factor this tournament. And Alcaraz, is a guy who plays very high octane, but can get cramps, can get leg pulls, things like that. And Djokovic is so savvy, and it hasn't had to exhaust himself, as Max pointed out. Certainly I don't really bet on tennis. Maybe I take a flyer on a futures. But whatever the price is on Djokovic, you have to give it a longer look than you would, given the fact that we all expected Sinner Alcaraz. It's just been the major finals for each of the last 2 years, and it was expected to be the major final for all 4 this year. Just incredible.
Troy, thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Now show up on Monday. You're gonna, I don't want to hear the kids are sick or you snowed in when you give us Patty Pemberton or whatever you gave us last week. So no excuses on Monday. All right.
Well, I was gonna say I'm pretty strongly on Michigan State to beat Michigan tonight. So I'm expecting Michigan to win. So I have to eat some more crow on Monday.
Catching points at home against a team that is 0-7 against the spread their last 7.
We all on that boat.
We all on it. We're on it with you. All right, good luck.
They've won 10 in a row at home against Michigan.
There you go. Let's go, Izzo. We appreciate it, Troy. Have a good weekend, buddy.
You do the same. Thanks, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. At United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business. From initial startup loans to ongoing planning and assessment, United Community Bank is here for you. Contact our great team of bankers, Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, and David Henry. United Community Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Novak Djokovic, 10-0 in the finals at the
Australian
Open. Yeah, he's lost in the finals of the other 3 majors multiple times, never lost in the finals in Australia.
$3 dog.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jimmy, I got another loser in the NCAA's never-ending cluster that is eligibility
Mississippi.
rules. No, this is not at Ole Miss, but you ready for this one? Owen Heineke, who's a football player at Oklahoma, asked for a 4th year, okay, and was denied by the CFB governing body because, wait for it, played 3 games as a walk-on at Ohio State. Not in football. In lacrosse. They said his clock started, you're out. You got to leave. Now, we got guys getting 6th year, 7th year, in some cases an 8th year. They're docking this kid because he walked on the Ohio State lacrosse team, played 3 games as a walk-on. They said, nope, your clock started. You're out.
Charlie, he should have
So
played.
his eligibility is done? The NCAA won this one, actually?
They won this one, yeah.
He should have played pro lacrosse instead. He would have gotten back.
That's right, yeah.
That's good, Max. Well played, sir. It's like your driver. Huh? We'll use your ball on this one, Max. Something new and different.
The Washington Generals get on the board. They're down 98-2. Live at Rufino's. Hour number 2, straight ahead here. Bruce Marshall when we return. Live at Rufino's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
Brucey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, pretty good, Jimmy. No football this weekend. I don't know what to do with myself.
I know. Let's get into it a little bit, but can we give Charlie a little history lesson here first?
Okay.
That was pretty good in history.
All right. So, Charlie didn't bring this up. So, it's Charlie's show. Charlie brings up the topics every day, and so he tried leads, but he left one off because we're college. You've dealt with us long enough, Brucey. The stuff that gets our juices going the most is college football, and
right.
one of the more historical pivots in the history of college football, I thought, was the Miami, Nebraska Orange Bowl where Schnellenberger gets over the top. But Osborne, the honorable thing or the dumb thing, he kicks the extra point. They are the national champions, but he goes for two. They don't. And kind of started the, Nebraska wasn't going to be at that level much longer. And Miami, that kick-started one of the great runs of college football that we, after a 20-year layoff, they're back in the national championship game. But a great, great call. And, I'm sure you know who did the play-by-play in that game, right?
Don Criqui.
Don Criqui, very good. We lost the color commentator last week.
Yes, John Brody.
Charlie failed to mention that. John Brody.
I did miss that. Yeah, I didn't miss the story, but I did. Don Criqui and John Brody did. Gosh, how many massive games?
Who did Bob Trumpy do color commentator for NBC back in that era? Bruce.
Well,
Dick Enberg.
Olson was with Enberg, and Criqui eventually started working with Trumpy. By the mid-'80s, Brody was not working as much. Brody was very good, by the way, very good. And so Trumpy then sort of came after Brody as the number 2 guy. You guys might not remember that there was a time in the 70s when Don Meredith was actually the number 2 guy with Kurt Gowdy when he left ABC
with NBC
for a few years.
Yeah,
that would be 74 through 76, I think. So anyway, but Brody was a really good color man too, and very sad that he passed last week.
And that was when the number 1 team at CBS was Summerall and Tom Brookshire before Madden retired. Is that right?
Yeah, they in '81. That's I think when Madden and Summerall teamed up. Brookshire had been with Summerall for about 5 years as the number 1 team. I thought Brookshire was great, by the way. I actually liked him more.
I liked him too. Yeah.
Oh yes,
yeah, he's very good.
You know what game they did that just always sticks in my memory was Billy Sims' Detroit Lions divisional game at San Francisco. Man, it was like a 28-24 game, something like that. Bruce, do you remember that one?
Oh,
man, it was in San Francisco.
I think it was 24-23, and the Lions missed a field goal.
Okay.
Eddie Murray missed a field goal in the last play of the game. Yep.
Well,
Eddie Murray,
you know where Eddie Murray
from?
Hullabaloo, rise up. Tulane. Of course he missed. He's from Tulane.
He kicked for 20 years in the league, it seemed
Keep
like.
Tulane out the damn playoff,
really
Brucey. Come on now.
Good.
All right. But here's one for you, Max. John Brody, who passed, who was he was a long-time quarterback, but he was a backup who also played, Bruce, do you remember this, on the PGA Tour for a little bit?
Senior Tour. He played in the Senior Tour. He actually won a Senior Tour event. His son-in-law for several years was Chris Chandler, by the way, who's a quarterback who I once went to a Padres game with. And Brody's other daughter was on that show, one of those Joe Millionaire type shows, was like the Bachelorette. So he had an interesting life, very much.
But he had one tournament, a prestigious tournament, that he had the lead, that he went for a par 5. This is how the story goes, I think. He went for the green in 2, Max, and he came up a little short, and he basically lost his lead at that point and contemplated whether he was going to stick with golf had he finished that tournament and won, because he was a backup at the time for the 49ers. And who would he have been backing up at that time, Bruce?
Well, early '60s, there was a point where George Myra was actually at quarterback for a short bit, but I mean that.
Did he back up Y.A. Tittle?
I was going to say John Hadel, but I could be wrong.
Why is
Tittle?
Come to mind?
Tittle. Early in his career, he did, and then Myra came. I think this golf thing might have happened when Myra, that brief period in the 63, 64 when Myra was playing the quarterback. He was it. But it was a little sadness because he had a really bad stroke about 25 years ago, and a disabling stroke. But he from what I had heard, he had apparently like fought his way back and was like, wasn't doing as badly as a lot of stroke people do. But that by the time he turned like 65, that's why we didn't hear from him anymore, because he had the stroke. But he was a glib color man. He was very good. I thought he was a great quarterback. He could play golf too at the top level. I mean, he's a very interesting guy.
Senior PGA Tour, 85 to 98, 1 win and 12 top 10 finishes.
Wow.
Okay, but one more, Charlie, and you're going to get this one. See, Max, here's another history lesson for you, too. But he also called, in the same building, one of the most legendary AFC playoff games.
San Diego, Miami.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
the Kellen Winslow game.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Got into the sixth quarter, right?
No, I think they finished that one in the fifth quarter, but
it was. Yeah, I thought they
went
changed sides before
double.
Bernurska hit the field goal.
I thought it was one.
Did they not?
But
Bruce,
I could be wrong with that one.
Rolf Bernurska kicked the field goal.
Right, but was it for the full 15-minute quarter of overtime?
I think it might have been in the second overtime. I think I'll double check on that. But
all right,
that was like the greatest game ever. No, that might have been that was still in the first overtime. I think.
It was overtime. Yeah.
It was still first overtime.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time I ever saw the hook and lateral play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don Strock off the bit. Yeah, the Tony Durio Harris maybe or
yes,
to
Tony Nathan. Yeah. 82 to 22. Is that right?
What's that?
Durio Harris to Tony Nathan?
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh,
you better at numbers than me.
Yeah, that was pretty good. While we're doing history,
memory lane there, Brucey. I'm sorry.
While we're doing history, Bruce, with the Hall of Fame controversy this week, Belichick, we know this fiasco. This is, to me, one of the more interesting. Next weekend, they're going to announce the Hall of Fame class. There's two locks. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald are going in first ballot. No discussions. Well, I guess I can say that. But the rest of this is hard, man. I think with some of the players that are up there, Luke Kuechly comes right to mind. Jason Witten is on the ballot for the first time. Eli Manning is still on the ballot. Terrell Suggs is on the ballot. I think all these guys are Hall of Famers. And then the one that I can't make up my mind on, I'm curious what you think of Frank Gore, because he's on the ballot for the first time. He's the third leading rusher in NFL history. Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton and Frank Gore, who I think was a really good player, but I just never thought of him as one of the top 2 or 3 backs in football. He's on, but he rushed for 16,000 yards. So I don't know if you got any thoughts about the vote that'll be announced next weekend.
Well, I think a couple of those are going to be borderlines. I think Gore should be in there because you should have room still for like longevity and production. I mean, if he wasn't the greatest at any single point, I mean, he was really good for a long time. That should be good enough for Hall of Fame credentials when you end up as the third leading rusher of all time. I'm sure Eli is going to get in, although I never thought Eli was a great quarterback. He had a couple of very high moments there. And he did have a fairly long career, but the great player label, I never affixed it to Eli. Now I think he's going to get in, and I think he'll probably get in this time because he missed last year, and that caused a little kerfuffle last year. Not quite like this Belichick thing, but a lot of people thought he was going to get in last year. So I think he probably gets in, and I think Suggs probably gets in too. But a couple of those guys kind of borderline, and we'll just see. But the news is going to stay this Belichick thing for a while, I think.
All right, Brucey. Your reaction to the outcomes of the conference championship games last week, and of course, the field goal, not the field goal, the weather conditions, the special teams again for the Rams. Just your thoughts.
Yeah, Jimmy. In that Denver game, I mean, listen, this is all we can second guess because that's what happens after something has happened, and then you look back in retrospect and you can second guess these things. But no, I mean, that was a mistake that Peyton made, not kicking the field goal. And boy, you should see in Denver what they're doing to him this week in the press there, and what Troy Rank and Mark Tisler and all the writers. I mean, they are really letting him have it. I think he deserves it for a couple of reasons. One, in a game like that, a 2-score lead is golden. especially when your defense is playing as well as his was playing. You're playing with your backup quarterback, and if you've been watching the weather reports, that this is going to get really nasty in the second half, and the offenses would be bogged down. And you get a chance to go up 10-0, you do it. And that by that point, the weather wasn't so bad, and that's about a 30-yard field goal it would have been for Lutz, and he hadn't missed inside of 40 all year, so I think he probably makes that. 10-0 in a game like that, I think Denver wins. All Sean Payton has done since then is he hasn't admitted he should have kicked the field goal. He said, well, I think I should have stuck with my first call, which was a run, and not that sprint-out pass, which just was blown up right from the start. But he made a mistake. And you read Mark Kisla, and he said, this is Peyton. Much as we like Peyton, he has this tendency, you guys saw it, he wants to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yes,
and,
yes.
I think that backfired, and they said the air, the stadium, everything just sort of, after that moment, the Patriots took over. Give New England credit, because nothing was going to work. The conditions were more for the Iditarod than for an NFL playoff game. The only thing that was going to work really was some quarterback scrambles, and Drake May made enough of those. I would say this, and I brought this up to some of these Denver guys this week. I think the second half, the way those conditions are going, Denver should have put Sam Ehlinger in the game. The only thing that was going to work was a quarterback running. Run some Wildcat. Get that ready. You had to know the weather was going to get bad, and they could have moved. They weren't going to move an inch in the second half with Stidham. The passing game was completely done. They couldn't run. So they were pretty much dead. No offense was moving, but they didn't make that provision, and they ended up losing a game that they will regret in Denver for a long time. You don't get back to this point, no guarantee you're going to get there again. So opportunity lost. The Ram game, you're right. You mentioned it. We talked about that. You talked about that at length during the season about the Rams special teams errors and how several of their losses came down to a special teams boo-boo. And that fumbled punt turned out to be a huge rough punt there. It turned out to be a huge play in the game. And that put Seattle up the TD, set them up for the 24-13 TD. An opportunity missed for the Rams. I also think Sean McVay, the other Sean, listen, they have 2-point conversions in there for a reason. And when you're down 31-26 there in the fourth quarter, you go for two. Even if you miss, as long as you only give up a field goal the other way, it's still a one-possession game if you get the ball back. If you make it, boy, then all you have to do is kick a field goal. You're into overtime, and the Rams would have loved that option on that last drive in the fourth quarter. There were 2 times when McVay did not go for 2, but the second time I thought was more an egregious overlook on his part.
Well, deeper into the game. Deeper in the game when you have less scoring, when it might be the final score, or you might have one more score. Max, what was when they got down 4 at the end, they had to go for it on 4th down, but what was the distance? 4th and 4 or so?
It was 4th and 4.
4th and 4?
Yeah.
You think he goes for it then? I mean, that's today's landscape. That's kind of a 50-50 call.
He might have gone for it. But the whole last sequence then might have sequenced differently if all he needed was a field goal. I mean, everything.
Well, here's my deal with Denver. In everything counts. Okay, everything. The analytics bring you to a point. Okay, to a point. But everything counts. Having your backup quarterback. You're going to ask your backup quarterback to make a throw on 4th down. Okay, I mean that makes a difference. Game flow makes a difference. But the other thing is that there's nowhere in it, but taking an unnecessary risk at providing your opponent a spark. Bruce, do you agree with that? I mean, you stop a team on 4th down, boom. I mean, that's a spark, man. I'm sorry.
I totally agree with you, and that you sort of give an opportunity to the other team. Now, there's another school of thought is, well, if we kick the field goal there, it sort of gives a little spark to the other team anyway, and I sort of get that, but not like the spark you give them if you they stop a 4th down play like that. And especially, the conditions there and the way his defense was playing. I mean, New England was doing nothing. Even when the conditions were pretty good, they were doing nothing. Compounding it, though, even, had Stidham not had that fumble, and that was sort of a dicey call there, but Denver has to live with that. New England might not have scored in the first half, and this game they had really sort of one drive at the start of the second half with a couple of May runs, and that was it. 10 points could win you a game like that, and he had a chance to get that midway in the second quarter.
So Max does a good job of bringing up, and we do the conversation, and we debate this all the time about game management, going for two and things like, because the way the offenses are way more explosive now, scoring too early is a concern sometimes. Okay, we've seen the game evolve, to this point, and one of the words, and we're trying to, take the points. Well, take the points. It's not a guarantee you're going to make the field goal. Different place kickers at different conditions at different lengths. But there was a famous coach, Charlie, that was his good. I came away from an NFL playoff loss, and he said, I should have taken the points. I learned my lesson. I think it was against the Cleveland Browns. Did the Green Bay Packers have a chance to, down 4, maybe kick a field goal, and then they got stopped on a later fourth down? Do you remember that game, Brucey? Pre-Super Bowl era?
Which early Super Bowl era?
Pre-Super Bowl era.
Oh, pre-Super Bowl era. Cleveland lost to the Green Bay beat Cleveland in 65, 64.
It's Vince Lombardi and Paul Brown. Is what we're talking about, right?
It was Vince Lombardi.
Okay.
It was Vince Lombardi who kind of, if I learned something, I should have taken it.
It could have been that game against the Eagles in 1960. Yeah,
okay.
I think that's what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, history. It's history time, Charlie.
It's history day
it's Tennyson History Day today.
We're going to do operations in the next segment. Okay.
Hey, Bruce, can you tell our basketball team sucks? Huh? Can you tell? Huh? I mean, it's empty chair night. Max goes to every game. He's a season ticket holder.
As of now.
You're not renewing?
No, I just mean the rest of the season. We'll see. Status is up in the air. Questionable.
Brucey, the LSU basketball team has over a $9 million payroll, and they are 1-7 in the league. 1-7.
Well,
so
I think we're looking at a possible change coming there. I will tell you, tonight on TV, you can watch St. Louis play Dayton.
Charlie,
that's my guy.
If Josh Schertz isn't on the top go-to list for whatever jobs open. And now there's even some talk in Westwood about Mick Cronin, although they have rallied a little bit lately. But, Schertz, what he did at Indiana State and what he did before at the lower levels and what he's done at St. Louis. And this might not be an easy game tonight, by the way, against Dayton, but they are so fun to watch. And he has got to be on a very short list for whatever major conference jobs opening. They have to enjoy him while they can at St. Louis, because I don't think he's sticking there too long.
Google him, he wins.
You have to listen to him talk, too. No level of entitlement, kind of a self-taught coach. You know what his sport was that he was pretty good at in his high school days? It was an individual sport, but he learned that, man, I could be a basketball coach. He's a tennis player.
Really? He's from Brooklyn, right? He's born in Brooklyn.
But
he's born in Brooklyn.
He's very cool, very, very, really, really sharp to listen to. And he talks about we can't overload our players. We want to teach our players situations and what's good decisions and stuff so they can just play as opposed to looking to the sideline, and looking for instructions. We want them to think situationally and different.
I don't know what his next move is, but I'm a fan.
No, he's
Can I run back the guy like last year? Eric Olin at New Mexico. Came from UC San Diego's, done a great job in his first year with the Lobos, 17-4, 8-2 in conference play. Great year at New Mexico. Maybe could get a boost right up once again.
Bruce, your thoughts on him?
Oh, he's great. I mean, he really put that thing. That was not an easy thing to put together at UCSD, but it's even more impressive this year at New Mexico. That's pretty much a new team, and he put that together. He's got some freshmen that are playing, and he had a couple transfers come in. No, Olin is top notch. That's a good job at New Mexico, though. It really is.
Right.
Right. But for that level, if he wants to stay there, I mean, guys have left there and regretted leaving. But I think
the only thing I'd punch back on that, Max, New Mexico is more resources to win there than at St. Louis. I mean, we've seen multiple coaches have some success. There's some support there. It's
took UCSD from Division II, worked his way up.
I've been to the I've been to the pit. Now, he's the UCSD coach?
He was Division II for some time, brought him up to Division I.
But last year's Cal San Diego coach.
Correct.
Okay, no, yeah, no, he's good. He's good. Brucey, have a good weekend. Super Bowl week next week. Any props as you will? We'll break down the game. Of course, how many shows can say that our contributor went to Super Bowl one? Bruce Marshall.
Very few I'm guessing.
I mean, this is time to resurface that picture and show the grandchildren and explain to them how John Brody was, because when you go to empty seat day at Stanford, John Brody played his college ball at Stanford. Remember that, Brucey.
He did. He was the quarterback. The 72-0 game Stanford lost to UCLA at the Coliseum in 1954. There you go.
There you go. Bruce, have a good weekend, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Don't forget our Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating company since 1980. AC heating, generator installations, maintenance. Service today, every day means that you call today, you will get service today. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem products. If you have an AC unit that was over 10 years old, had to be serviced this past summer, now is the time. We're not thinking about the AC units because now is the time to get the best discounts on a replacement unit. Up to $5,500 in discounts on replacement units by just calling my buddy Lucas Ragusa at 480-1000. 480-1000 Total Maintenance.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. The Pierre Part Store now open in La Rose and Lockport. Here for the New Year's, we head towards spring. If you're looking to do some cleaning on your property, maybe put some things into storage, big savings on the website right now. Cleaning supplies and storage supplies, all at thethibodeaustore.com. We'll get you to all four of those properties from the one website. Same-day pickup when you shop on the website, and delivery available for a number of these items. So get to shopping, or do like Jimmy and make you a little field trip down to Thibodeau or Pierre Part. I made one of those trips with him. Your outdoor cooking supplies are plentiful. If you're getting ready for college baseball season, just a couple of weeks away, you're going out tailgating, crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, grills, griddles, and a ton more, and all the accessories to go with it for your home outdoor cooking needs as well.
Love me some Pierre Part, to tell you. Max's best call ever. Best tout ever.
He did. Online, it's thethibodeaustore.com.
I want to wait for it warms up just a little bit. Now might be the time, because when it warms up, then you want to be on the grill, huh? I mean, it's just not. I can't grill in the tundra, Charlie. But I'm ready to go down there and reload again on some fun gadgets, man. It just makes the whole, outdoor cooking experience that much more fun when you get all the little gadgets and tools from the Thibodeau Store.
So they're having a problem at LSU basketball games, more than one actually. But here's one I want to point out. Apparently, they're doing giveaways. They're trying anything they can to get people in the building. Like against Kentucky, they gave away free T-shirts to the first 500 students that went in. They did a little mini replica of the Shaquille O'Neal statue for one of the other games. Yeah, there's only one problem with this. The students are getting their prize, and then they're leaving. So we're talking about before the game even starts. So LSU's director of fan experience has put in a new policy. You ready for this one? They're going to exit scan students that do this, and they are going to prohibit them from going to any more games. This is the
football games?
Possibly. Football game, but definitely the basketball games. They are going to lose the privilege, using that word fast and loose, of basketball student tickets for the remainder of the season. You go, you get your T-shirt, and you leave. You can't come to any more games.
That's more motivation, and I don't have to give me a reason to stay away from it.
This is the director of fan experience who's saying we might not let a student back into the arena. If you're the director of the fan experience at LSU.
Why you want to ruin my 2026, Charlie? I'm having such a good start to the year. This is so dumb. I mean, come on, man.
They ought to have a shuttle from the dorms over to the arena. They ought to give them free hot dogs and popcorns for sitting through this crap. You want to make sure students don't leave early?
No.
Here's an idea. Stop sucking at basketball.
The Tiger Trolley needs to go by the dorms and give people Chick-fil-A on the way or walk-ons or whatever it is. And give them yes, you need you need to give them, I don't know, give them 3 college credits to go to a damn game.
Do you know what the students' response was when they said, we might not let you go into any more games? Promise?
Yeah, really.
Do you promise? This is what you came up with? You are – look, we're beyond frustrated with the LSU men's basketball program, not just the team. And we don't blame the kids. And so now you have marketing saying, you know what? We're giving them prizes, and they're leaving the games. You know why? Because the product sucks. Okay, the products here. I don't know a single school in the country, a single athletic department that is not looking for revenue generators. Not a one. Okay, Ohio State, Texas, all the way down to Slippery Rock. They're all looking for more revenue streams. Best revenue stream is when you sell tickets to the event. Like Skip says, they come to the games, they buy some groceries, you make some revenue. It's not giving away free T-shirts. It's not giving away little mini statues. It's the product. And if you are going to say, well, if you just take the little promotional item, how many people came to see Red Panda or the lady that paints the other night? That's the topping on the cake. It's the product. Okay, Jimmy, you sat in some of these meetings with me. I've been a part. Give me a second here. I've been a part of 3 ownership changes at the radio group I worked for before I went to Guarantee. Okay, 2 of those were corporate takeovers, and when they came in, they all wanted to know about new revenue streams. And because let's just say the sales staff there wasn't the best. Whenever they put me in these meetings, I'll be like, hey, I got an idea. Let's sell the inventory we have before we talk about giveaways and promotions and all that stuff. Maybe you want to increase revenue? You're selling 50% of the inventory. Sell the other 50%. You'll double it. You have a 13,000-seat arena, and you're putting 3,000 butts in the seats on nights when you're lucky, and most of them are leaving before it's over. Why? Not because they want to go home with a damn free T-shirt. Not because they want to go home with a statue of Shaquille O'Neal. Because your product stinks. And if you put some of this money in some of this, we're going to put a strong policy in. Here's a strong policy. Win some damn games. May have an entertaining product. Go out and try to entice the students to come in rather than finding ways to keep them out. You want to worry about them leaving with the damn T-shirts? Give the damn T-shirts out in the second half. And if the team doesn't, stink to high heaven, maybe people will stick around till the second half. Maybe it's a parting gift. Anybody that stays till the end of the game gets a T-shirt on the way out. I mean, just when you thought they couldn't get any worse about the men's basketball program, some genius in the thing comes up with this. I know what we'll do. We'll ban students. They're the only ones that are bored enough to go to this crap.
Can we do Red Charlie? Can we put Red Charlie on a unicycle with the balls on his head?
I read this at 5:30 this morning. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is no class all day and all night, but I'm not waiting until Tuesday on this thing.
The Australian Open is just blowing up our sleep patterns, huh?
We will figure out a way to enforce this policy that keeps even more students out of the PMAC, as if there weren't enough already.
Max, you think Charlie's doing his best to catch up with me on Big Picture with LSU basketball? But anyway, but you're the boots in the ground. You stay from tip to 00.
Masochist.
Well, he's committed, okay? Mm-hmm. And you saw, like, the Tiger Dance team come in there, the second play, and and there's a chunk of people that left after their performance.
No doubt.
And stuff
You
that.
could tell.
So give us and elaborate on other things like that.
So the hip-hop routine that the dance team performed that they did very well in, the crowd was amped for that. You could tell there were a lot of people there that were specifically there for that, and then the crowd emptied out. You've seen that. We've seen there were Go Hat giveaways, GAUX backwards, which I don't get that trend in hats, but you put it backwards like it's a mirror or something. and a lot of people in the student section were wearing those hats. So some people use those promotions and stuff. I've seen these a lot really since Wade got here. I thought they pushed them out. That's when I was in school, was when Will Wade was here. But guess what? People stayed for the games because the team was relevant and they actually didn't want to leave. There are always going to be people who take advantage of these things, but I don't think you're going to make rules for those people. I think it's just bad policing to convince people not to go to the games when you're, like you said, you're trying to get people to go. They do promotions in between, in between timeouts to keep people there. Hot dogs from heaven.
All of that's fine. I had no problem with free fries. That's all fine.
But you can't police some of these people who are going to take advantage of it, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, how much are these things costing? If you don't want to do these promotions, maybe stick that money and put it in the basketball team or something.
Put it into the product, because I tell you what, in 2 weeks they're going to open up the baseball season, and I don't know if they're doing a promotion that night, but they won't have to give out anything other than a seat to watch the game for the people to fill that park, the same way they fill it for women's basketball and gymnastics, because the product is good there. The football program is good there. You don't have to give them a schedule magnet or a T-shirt if your product doesn't stink. So please stop trying to keep people out of the arena. You're already doing a good enough job with that. I mean, just when you thought they couldn't care less about LSU basketball, they somehow managed to ratchet it up just a little bit more. Let's see what else we can do to hurt the program. Let's see what else we can do to keep these people out. Believe me, keep the product going, they'll stay away in droves.
So, Mr. Curtis, you heard that? Yeah, if you go and get your Shaquille O'Neal, mini statue, you got to stay for the whole game. Okay?
You want to give it to him on the way out, man.
It's okay, Mr. Curtis. Be careful. Okay, drive safely. Charlie's upset.
I really couldn't believe this wouldn't hold till no class on Tuesday. I couldn't hold my water on this for 3 more weeks. You want to increase revenue? Hey, you're putting 3,000 people in a 13,000 seat building. Increase the product. I guarantee you'll sell tickets.
Tell Charlie that.
Yeah, I'm done.
Jordan, this is where you break.
Oh, we
live at lunch.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New podcast on YouTube, Hannycast. Rich Dixon and I went through the entire roster last night. We got some leftover films for the last couple of transfer portal guys, and a breakdown of the whole roster that's available on YouTube. And brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s.
Moscona, so good. So good. So
I can never fit in that uniform.
I'm not the best follower on Twitter, okay? This just in. All right, okay. But if you want to see a visual, because Max, it just doesn't tune in, go great. I mean, it doesn't focus.
It's a little blurred.
It's blurred. So
it's me as Red Panda.
Max, explain what I just posted on my Twitter.
This is a AI version of Red Panda replaced by Charlie with his, the bowls on top of his head. He's got LSU shoes on, special LSU shoes.
He's got like LSU Jordans, I think.
That's and you're a little festive. You look like Red Panda. Honestly.
All right, so catch.
Here's the craziest thing about this.
No. I was you caught it.
The craziest thing about this picture.
What I was going to say. Do you notice the AI, the most AI part of this?
Yes, the most AI part of this. Well, there's 2 things. First of all, the PMAC's full from the very top. There's fans in every seat. And also, LSU is up 55-30 at the half.
We know that's not accurate.
Non-conference game for sure.
So it's like the score in the crowd is way less realistic.
Honestly,
than Charlie on a damn
and I had to go to Omar the tent maker to get that costume.
You got 1, 2, 3. You got 6 bowls on your head.
All right,
that's impressive. Honestly, if Charlie was
smiling,
if Charlie was the halftime performer, you might get a full PMAC for that.
Have you ever ridden a unicycle?
No, indeed not.
Oh, dude, we got to do this. I mean,
I had a cousin who could do it. I'm not even close.
This is I'm already getting liked by Stephen Miller, Red Charlie.
Yeah.
So
right.
look, you got to go to my. How you follow? It's called following on X. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, just give them a follow.
Following.
Oh, okay. Red Charlie, so good.
I'm so pleased
Golly.
with that. You know what?
Let's
I'll take the hit on that one just to make the point. If it brings further light to this, it's some marketing genius over there is like, hey, I know what we'll do. We'll keep the students out. We'll come up with another reason to keep the students out.
Not Brett, but
as if they don't have enough
can we
already.
be fair? At least saying that's not the easiest job right now is to be the marketing director.
No,
for
it's not.
Okay,
and that's
okay.
true. Like they have their social media feed, right? And at halftime the other night,
you say so.
Well, no, they do.
I've tuned out on him. I have not been to the damn arena.
So
since the Vanderbilt game,
they put stuff during the games about this was a great play, this was a great shot, this was a great whatever. Sometimes they'll do something funny to troll the other team. The other night at halftime, they're like, we'll have a second half.
There will be a
second half. Like we're out. We got nothing else.
Now there has been a little bit of a back and forth and a little bit of debate and a little bit of finesse and just how much the NBA arenas. Some of the old timers. It's just so much music that's played
during gameplay.
Yeah, during play that it's. I mean, where's the screeching of the sneakers, on the floor and stuff like that? There was one college coach a couple of weeks ago who says, man, we don't – I want the crowd to be into the game. Yeah. I want them to be into the game. I want them when we need a stop, defense, to make all kinds of noise. I want them when they're attempting a free throw to be going crazy behind the goal. And I don't want to be the responsibility of our marketing department to try and, breathe life into our arena. When you put on the game tonight, is it on Fox? I would think it is. Fox has
Michigan
State. Michigan State.
Yeah.
Izzo's 70th birthday. They're 10-1 in the last time. Playing Michigan, who was number one for a while. I mean, there's not going to be any music playing. That place is going to be jumping because in college atmospheres are so much more lively. That's why the college game is more entertaining to me than one of 82 in the load management era of the NBA. But it's just, you would ultimately want that, but it's the struggling atmospheres that need or looking for a little extra juice to be manufactured instead of being part of. You go to Tiger Stadium. I mean, Tiger Stadium, always, you don't need to be playing a damn hip-hop song during a commercial, a timeout to get your crowd fired up. They're fired up when they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Plus they have a band.
So
LSU does a good job of that. Their football team, I've been to other games, other stadiums, they play way too much pumped-in music rather than the band itself.
Well, you have to during the halftime break. That's a time where you kind of mix it in as you give your band a break, after performing at halftime. I get that. And there's some times where, whether it's, that's kind of a it's not my favorite, but the Colin Baton Rouge thing is kind of it's a Baton Rouge. It's just that's fun. Mm-hmm. Tom Petty, won't back down. I mean, he grew up in Gainesville. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of musicians that grew up in Gainesville, so that's part of them. In Madison, jump around. I mean, it's just kind of become part of their deal. So not, but too much of it is. Yeah, I'd rather the stadium, the atmosphere, stand on its own. Besides the pump-up music.
One of the things that stands out right now is they have these smoke things that'll go off when LSU makes like a three or a dunk, and they'll blow them. Well, it's so quiet and empty in there that you hear them go out, and it almost scares you. It's like a jump scare when they just throw this smoke up in the air behind the goal. It's the PMAC for a men's game. I'll specify there. Is like it's kind of like the library right now.
Is this called the post when somebody writes something on X? Huh?
Yes.
Pack the PMAC. The only way to bring them in. Let's go, GEAUX, Charlie.
Well, if all y'all want to do is see me bust my ass, give me a unicycle. That'll happen pretty quick.
You could maybe speed paint. I think that's a little bit more your speed.
Charlie, I would at least have a fighting chance with the feet.
You got to start training on a unicycle. You have to save the program.
Is it up to me? Is that what'll do it? Yeah.
Could you train your dogs to go catch the frisbees across the court?
It's as good a chance as anything. Huh?
I mean, I would have thought go get more shooters and big, better players. But hey, look, if it'll help anything for the program.
Ken Palm's got them going 9-9 in the league?
Huh? Oh no, they're down to 5.
Oh really? Okay, all right. Where did y'all shoot? Where were they?
They were 6 and
12.
Five or six.
Good
They're
luck
down to
with
5. Down to 5. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
If I had to reset over under for wins the rest of the season, I'd set it at 1.5.
I'm taking over.
1.5?
I'm taking over.
For the rest of the season?
For the last 10 games, I'd set it at 1.5.
I don't think they've quit. They struggled last game.
They didn't play. They didn't play hard the other night.
Part of not quitting is playing defense.
They've played better. I'll tell you that they played better on the road.
That's my thing.
Maybe they play better at South Carolina tomorrow. I don't know.
Arkansas is South Carolina.
They played well at Texas A&M. I mean, as well as they can play at Texas A&M and at Arkansas.
It's like they have letdown spots at home against the worst teams they play. They're not good enough to have a letdown spot, but the two worst games they played this year were South Carolina and Mississippi State.
Yeah. All right, we'll take our final time. I'll come back, wrap things up here. Rufino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Basketball in the league tomorrow. I guess Kentucky, Arkansas will be the headliner, but Texas A&M, Georgia might be every bit as good of a game.
I don't think Kentucky's that good.
They got thumped the other night in Nashville, and they're going to Bud Walton. Imagine that Arkansas will be a little bit more up for that game than they were last Saturday. But A&M Georgia is interesting. That's a noon game on the SEC Network.
If you are thinking about taking a little shot on Djokovic at a price in the Australian final against Alcaraz, keep this in mind. He won against Sinner. Sinner had a better first grade percentage, 75 to 70. Percentage of points with first place, 80 to 71%. Percentage of points with second serve, he had better. More aces, 26 to 12, Sinner to Djokovic. Fewer double faults, 2 and 3. More winners, 26 more winners, 72 to 46. Equal unforced errors, so they equal there. More points to the rest, 33 to 26%, and most points won total in a match, 152 to 40, and Djokovic still won because probably the biggest win was
he shouldn't have won.
Yeah, he led in every statistical category and still lost. The one that he did not win was break points. Break points, Sinner was 2 for 18, including 0 of 10 in the fifth set.
Thanks to our friends here at Rufino's for hosting us today. Our first trip on Monday to Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana. Hope that you can make it in your plans to stop by and see us then. Everybody have a great weekend. For Max, for Jimmy, for our AI guy back at Guarantee, for Jordan Kitchens in his studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.